Welcome to Dateline SAU, your source for the latest news and sports from St. Ambrose University. I'm Ryan Sandness.
And I'm Kyle Alexander. St. Ambrose University has named its 14th president, Dr. Amy Novak. Novak is currently the president of Dakota Wesleyan University in Mitchell, South Dakota. She was picked following a nationwide search and will officially take over for retiring president, Sister Joan Lescinski, on August 7th. Novak says she is excited to get started in her new role.
I'm a consummate problem solver, so I just like to sort of look at a place and get to know it. I think for me it's exciting to start something new. And so I will be deeply invested in just understanding the Quad Cities, its history, its culture, the presence of its churches, how it interfaces with the university, the students, the faculty, the staff.
What it makes me feel now is a tremendous sense of continuity for St. Ambrose University, that we have a leader coming in, she and her husband and her family, who really will learn our culture well and help us continue to move forward.
Novak has served as the president of Dakota Wesleyan since 2013. She and her husband Ken are parents to 8 children.
The St. Ambrose Nursing Department has received a gift of $2.6 million to fund an endowed faculty chair. Anne Elaine Hinkhouse grew up devoting her life to healthcare. She also had a close affinity to St. Ambrose University, assisting in the training of SAU health science students and earning an MBA from SAU in 1994. The Dean of Health and Human Services says gifts such as this, especially from alumni, enhance the program's reputation.
You know, we have many different measures for success in our health sciences program, how the students do after they leave, what they're contributing in the job force, licensure pass rates, graduation rates, which for our health sciences programs are all very high. But this kind of external validation and recognition, Anne's gift will do a number of things for us, and we have a great place in our heart for her.
Cassidy says the gift will also be used to help the university keep its training equipment up to date. One example is expanding the use of high-fidelity patient simulators. These sophisticated lifelike mannequins can mimic the full spectrum of human physiology. Assistant Professor Katrina Browning will serve as the first Anne Elaine Hinkhouse Endowed Chair faculty member. She is in her second year as the chair of the St. Ambrose Nursing Department.
An adjunct professor at St. Ambrose University passed away at his Moline home in November. Lieutenant Colonel John Cook served the United States Army for 20 years until he retired in 1992. He was an adjunct professor in the Department of Management and an Excel program at St. Ambrose University since 1998. He was 72 years old.
Dr. Ann Preston of the Communication Department at St. Ambrose will be retiring at the end of the spring semester. I caught up with Dr. Preston to get her thoughts on retirement.
This is our blackboard.
Dr. Ann Preston has taught in a fully online format like this since the beginning of the fall semester, which happened to be the start of her last full year as a full-time professor here at St. Ambrose. Faculty across campus have had to adjust their teaching styles because of the pandemic, but Dr. Preston will soon adjust to a new chapter in life.
The biggest thing that I'll miss will be the community. I came here for the community, and by that I mean particularly the communication department.
Preston currently teaches out of her office in the basement of the Galvin Fine Arts Center. Having been here since 2001, Preston's impact has been felt by her colleagues in the department.
She's very intellectual, and so she keeps us honest and keeps us rigorous with our teaching. We don't slack off, and she comes up with lots of new ideas, so she's going to be hard to replace.
Preston works closely with Associate Professor Alan Savell in the introductory and advanced media writing courses. Both say they have developed a method of teaching that pairs well with each other.
And so I know exactly what kind of student I'm going to get. I know what she's covered, and I know what to expect of them.
Preston will still teach media writing next year despite a new professor taking her place. She is also open to any changes that may eventually come.
So I do think a new person has to transition and kind of set aside some of their ideas, but I also think that there's opportunity for change.
Preston spent nearly 2 decades teaching at St. Ambrose.
February 1st through the 5th, St. Ambrose Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion hosted Civil Rights Week on campus. It was one of several ways DEI is trying to educate and encourage people to spread awareness about Black History Month.
I want people to think about the Black experience outside of the struggle, to think about the Black experience outside of slavery, outside of the fight for civil rights. February is our chance to highlight those everyday heroes throughout the Black experience.
And I think it had a great impact on our campus with those individuals who had a chance to go to some of the landmarks that we put up. People could read stories. And then there's other things that are going on campus. I think having conversations, encouraging our faculty to have conversations about the significance of Black history. To be unaware of the significance that Black Americans have had on our society and how we live, work, and play today is something that all of us are going through and learning and relearning some of this. And so let's not shy away from learning our own history, because Black history is American history.
DEI encourages people to check out the exhibit they put together celebrating Black Americans. It is a traveling exhibit that you can find across campus throughout the month of February. Black History Month is also a good time to connect with the Black Student Union. The group meets every Wednesday in the Rogowski Center at 7:15 p.m.
Just a few weeks into the new semester, classes have been canceled or moved online several times. But it's not because of COVID-19. It's because of the recent harsh winter weather. Snow pelted the St. Ambrose campus and surrounding areas on January 25th. This caused several delays. The heavy snow and ice forced evening classes to be canceled or held online. Then another storm hit on February 4th, forcing any classes after 3 p.m. to go online. The offices of St. Ambrose University eventually closed at 3:30 p.m. Ambrosians are urged to monitor local conditions as extreme cold temperatures, and even more snow is expected for the next several days.
Those winter storms are making it difficult for an SAU athletic facility to get back to working conditions. The St. Ambrose Dome was taken out by a derecho in August 2020. In recent weeks, the university has tried to get the dome ready for use, but continuous storms have delayed its return.
Well, we're going to try to run some heat under the roof of the dome to kind of melt some of the stuff off, so then we can partially inflate, have that melted stuff run off, and then try to get it all the way up. But again, we're at the mercy of no snow and no wind before we can make that attempt. So our best guess is about 2 weeks out from now, we can make another try. And obviously we are as motivated as our athletes are to get the thing up and running again.
The loss of the dome has made practice schedules difficult this spring for SAU athletic teams. Many fall sports were moved to the spring due to COVID-19. Because of this, practice space is limited. This makes the job of coordinating all of the team's schedules difficult. SAU facilities manager Tony Huntley says this is one of the busiest times he's ever faced.
I think we've adapted fairly well. I think we could be better in some spots, but that has to go with a lot with weather. Like, we assumed that we could get outside more at this time. Like last year, we were already outside for a lot of sports. This year, with Mother Nature, it's created more problems. So basically, it's just what can we do and when can we do it and how we're going to do it. And we all got to work together and make things happen the way they need to happen.
Huntley also noted winter sports are still in season. He hopes once they come to an end, it will be easier to schedule practices.
Coming up after a short break, we'll take a look at some of those teams who were forced to move their seasons to the spring, including the SAU football team who played its season opener on a frozen field in Chicago.
And a senior on the Fighting Bee men's basketball team is the newest member of the 1,000-point club.
Dateline SAU's David Meyer will have highlights and more coming up after the break.
On Dateline SAU.
Being a music major at St. Ambrose University has allowed me the opportunity to get to know all of the professors on a personal level, and they all care about my own growth as a musician. It's really nice to be learning in an environment where I can maybe sometimes have conversations with the professors outside of class who obviously want to help me learn, and that is their main goal. And it's easy to get that interaction from them. The opportunities that you get to perform in and outside of class, there are many of them, and all of them are great ways to meet the right people that might help you get started in your piano career, life as a musician. And that's definitely something that's helped me, something that I've loved about being here. I would recommend it for other people for the same reasons.
We're more than a radio station. We're your neighbors, investing time in our community. We're mentors, guiding the next generation of broadcasters. We're supporters of veterans, partners with social service agencies, and investigators of history. We're dedicated sports fans. We're committed to the stories that make the Quad Cities unique. We are KALA Radio, 88.5 FM, 106.1 FM. Turn it on, turn it up.
The football season is finally underway as the Bees took on Roosevelt University Saturday in Chicago. Snow and extremely cold temperatures hampered the St. Ambrose offense as they dropped the season opener 27-13. Special teams accounted for the first Bee score as Sam Kerr blocked a Laker punt which Cade Gorsney recovered for a touchdown. Winter weather has already become a factor in their next game. The home opener versus St. Xavier has been moved to Tuesday, February 16th, in order to avoid expected record cold temperatures and another possible winter snowstorm. Women's coach Krista Van Howen is just one victory away from reaching 200 career wins as a coach. She was looking to get to that milestone Wednesday when the Olivet Nazarene Tigers came to Lee Loman Arena. Down by 10 early in the first half, the Bees start to claw back with this Jamie Martin's drive, pulled the team back to within a bucket. Moments later, as St. Ambrose on the run again, and Mel Stewart with the layup to tie the score at 37. We jump ahead to the game's final moments, and the Bees need to score quickly. Stewart grabs the offensive board and earns a chance for a three-point play. But it wasn't enough as Olivet Nazarene held on for the win. 5 Bees scored in double figures, but 26 turnovers spelled their doom, and the women fall to 9-6 on the season, 4-4 in the CCAC. We go to the men's half of the doubleheader. Here, John Kerr drains the three, and the Bees pull within a point. And check out number 23, senior Michael Williams, one-on-one in the post with a nice hook, giving him 1,000 points in his SAU career. Here's Jake Friel with a drive and the dish, and Ben Scholes hits this one from beyond the arc, making it a 4-point game. The Bees kept close the rest of the way, but couldn't overtake the Tigers in this one. Williams becomes the 51st Bee in program history to score 1,000 points in their SAU career. The women's volleyball team hosted Trinity International on Tuesday. The Bees started hot, winning the first 2 sets, but couldn't close it out. St. Ambrose drops to 7-3 on the season. The St. Ambrose dance team started its competition season by winning the Benedictine Challenge in Atchison, Kansas. The team will compete in the NAIA Dance Regionals later this month in Lee Loman Arena, and will host the National Championships in March. The St. Ambrose indoor track team has been enjoying success this season, a season that could have easily not happened. Using strict COVID-19 protocols, the team has been able to host 4 smaller indoor meets in January and February. The meets are held in the Wellness and Recreation Center. The student athletes and the coaches worked hard to make these events happen, and they are grateful that they can compete again. They remember when last season's track season was cut short.
Really, it was tough for us last year when we had to go home. The results that the kids would want might not necessarily be there, but we're defining success differently and making sure that we have a lot of fun because we know what it's like to not have it, and competing like every meet could be your last, because for all intents and purposes at this point in the year, if you're exposed to someone and you have to go into quarantine, your indoor season's over.
The St. Ambrose track team boasts more than 100 student athletes. The Bees are set to host the conference championships February 19th and 20th. with the NAIA Nationals in South Dakota in March. The 2021 bowling season is also underway. The men's team placed second in a 17-team field at the Mid-States Tournament in Wichita, Kansas. The JV men won their division, while the varsity women finished 8th out of 15 teams. And that's it for sports this week. I'm David Meyer.
And that's all we have for you on this edition of Dateline SAU.
We'll be back next week with the latest news and sports from St. Ambrose University.
Remember to check out the SAU TV Facebook and Instagram pages for our newscasts, late-breaking news, and more. You can also find news stories and videos on The Hive at sauthe.buzz.com.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next week.